Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today is the unit 4, and the topic for today's lecture is cells and tissue. From the cells and the tissues. Uh, this topic is from this lecture is from Biology 9. Pages are 91 to 94. So first of all, just recall what are the compound tissues. So in this whole chapter we were talking about different cells and tissues. So what are the compound tissues? The compound means the mixture of more than one cells or types of cells. In case of plants, these are the examples like xylem and the phloem tissues. Then what are the xylem tissue, or what is the xylem tissue? It contains, as it is a tissue, so it is made up of more than one type of cells. So it contains majorly two types of cells. One is the basal cells, the other is the tracheae or the tracheids. Then what are the basal cells? These are the short, wide, thick, secondary cell wall cells. They are dead in structure, they are hollow in shape, they join together to form long tubes. Then what are the tracheids, which is another type of the xylem tissue cell? These are the long cylindrical cells, and the water moves upward from tracheids to tracheids. They make like tube-like structure like this, and then there is a junction, then another tracheid just like this. These two tracheids, they join together, and the water flow, it moves upwards in case of the plant. So what is the function of the tracheid? It helps in the transport of water and dissolved substances from roots to upper parts in plants. There is a chemical known as lignin, which is present in the cell walls of its cells. It helps in support of the plant body. Then the second tissue is the phloem tissue. What is the phloem tissue? The phloem tissue is again made up of two types of cells. One is the sieve tube cells, the other is the companion cell. The sieve tube cells, in sieve tube cell, the protoplast or the protoplasm has no nucleus. This is the anucleated cell. These are just like fibers or the long tubes without nucleus. And the ends walls have small pores which are called as the sieve plates. So what is the function of the sieve tube cells? That the food is transported with the help of sieve tube cells. The second type of cells is known as the companion cells. They accompany or they support, they help the sieve tube cells. They regulate food movements through sieve tubes. So the sieve tubes, like just like a tube over here, you can see this is the perforation plate, these are the sieve tube. In case of this is the xylem structure, this is the phloem structure where you can see this is the sieve tube 1, this is the sieve tube 2, right? These are the sieve pores. So with the help of these pores, they help in the transport of the food in case of the xylem in case of the phloem tissue. However, in case of the xylem tissue, the vessel cells or the vessel membranes, they connect with one another. This is the one vessel cell, this is another vessel cell. They join together to form and with the help of tracheids, these are the tracheids over here, you can see these are the cylindrical cells, and the water movement takes place with the help of these tracheids. So these vessel cells, they make long tubes, right? However, these make the long cylindrical cells, right? And with the help of these, the water is transported. So there is then the next section is animal tissues. What are the animal tissue? The animal tissue, they are being classified based on the structure and function. There are basically 4 types of the animal tissue. These are epithelial tissues, connecting tissues, and muscular tissues, and the nervous tissues. So the first one is the epithelial tissues. The epithelial tissues, in case of epithelial tissue, one of the common example or the clear-cut example is the skin. The skin physically separates outside world from the inner internal body. The skin is composed of epithelial tissues. These are the continuous sheets of cells. They line other examples of epithelial tissues. You can find them in the gut, lungs, and urinary tract. The urinary tract system. It is also made up of epithelial cells. The shape or morphology of the cells is that they are flattened and they are elongated structurally. Then there is another tissue which is known as the connecting tissues. These are the supporting tissues in case of animal body. They are scattered through extracellular membrane material throughout the human body or the animal body. There are different types of connecting tissues. These types are based upon, or you can say the classified based upon the structure and their functions of the connecting tissues. One of the type is loose connective tissue. In case of loose connecting tissue, the extracellular material contains loosely packed collagen, a protein. Collagen, what is collagen? Collagen is a protein, right? So along fibers are present in the extracellular material in case of connecting tissue, but these are loose, they are not strict. That's why the name is loose connecting tissues. They are widely distributed under the epithelial tissues, and this epithelial tissue helps in the holding of organ at the specific place. For example, if you see your eye is fixed in your eye pocket or in the eyeball. So the eye pocket, these are the soft, or you can say the loose connecting tissues, which helps in the maintaining or keeping the eye into your eye area. Otherwise your eye may fall because of the disease or any kind of problem in case of connecting tissues, this loose connecting tissues. The other type is the fibrous connecting tissues. Over here, in this case, the extracellular material, that is the collagen, it contains tightly packed collagen fibers. So protein fibers, they are strongly packed or tightened. That's why they become fibers or hard in shape. The form is tendons which attach bones to muscles. Over here you can see this is the bone, this is the muscle. So there is some kind of, you can say, some stripes, these are present between muscles and the bone in case of your shoulder. So that stripe, it is known as a tendon. So tendon is an example of fibrous connecting tissue which helps to join bone with the muscles. The other example is the bone to bone joining with the help of the ligaments. So ligaments and the tendons, these are the examples of fibrous connecting tissues, right? Then the third type is the muscular tissue. They contains highly specialized contractile cells or fibers. These cells and fibers, they held together by the help of connecting tissue. Each muscle fiber is an elongated cell. In case of muscular tissue, it has an ability to contract and relax. Examples: skeletal, smooth, and cardiac muscles. So I am going to tell you a little bit brief about the differentiation or the differences in skeletal, smooth, and cardiac muscles. So you have to remember that there are the categories of connecting tissues, and then in which are loose and fibrous connective tissue. However, in case of muscular tissue, there are three categories, subcategories. They are skeletal, smooth, and cardiac based on the structure and the function. So what is the function or the structure of skeletal muscle is that they attach to cartilage and bones with the help of connecting tissue called as tendons. I have summarized about the tendons in case of the fibrous connecting tissue. So the tendons, they join the skeletal muscle with the bone. So with the help of these skeletal cells or the tissues, they attach cartilage and bones, right? They are composed of striated cells that are long and cylindrical. They contain many nuclei. They are voluntary in reaction. They produce powerful, rapid contractions. The legs and arms, they move due to the skeletal muscles. So if you want to move your legs, you can move. This is your under control. The mind and the body is controlling your arms and legs movement. So that's why the skeletal muscles, they are voluntary interaction. Voluntary means controllable. You can control, switch on and switch off from your own mindset, right? However, the smooth muscles, they are present in the blood vessels, the gut, etc. They produce slow sort of contractions. The contraction moves substances like foodstuffs or urine in the hollow organs inside nearby the skeletal smooth muscles. In case of smooth muscular tissues, there are some hollow organs nearby these smooth muscles. So when these smooth muscle, they contract just like this is the contraction, right? I'm contracting, but this is not a this is not a smooth muscle. I'm just showing that how the smooth muscle, they contract. So when they contract, they pump out or they release the urine or other food substances into the nearby organ. For example, in case of urine, the urinary organ, or you can say the urinary bladder, it traps the whole urine within the body due to the contraction of these smooth muscles. So whole urine is drained out into the urinary bladder. Okay, so they are unstriated, or okay, I over here I will show you the picture later on. Over there you can see there are strips, like strips form, or the strip shears. But in case of smooth muscle, they are unstriated, they are unstripped, they are simply smooth muscles. There are no lines present on the smooth muscles. They are composed of spindle shape, right? They are involuntary action. For example, like in case of urination, you cannot control the urine abundance in your urinary bladder. It is involuntary. Whenever your kidney, whenever your urinary system, your urethra is filled up with your urine, it has to drain off, right? So this is a sort of involuntary, uncontrollable reaction or action, right? Then there is another type in case of muscular tissue, which is cardiac muscles. They are found in heart. They are composed of uh, branch fibers. They are capable of sustained contraction. The contraction is quite sustained. Sustainability or the slow motion. There is a difference. What is the sustained contraction? It means that your heart is contracting, or your heart is like with it has a regular pace. It has a regular movement of relaxing and contracting, just like this. For example, in 1 minute it has to contract 72 times or 71 times. So this is fixed, but this is again, this is contracting. So this kind of sustainability is present in kind of cardiac muscles. Their contraction produces heartbeat that propels blood into the vessels. And again, the cardiac muscles, they are also involuntary in action. You cannot control your heartbeat. The heartbeat is creating involuntarily, surprisingly, or you can say momentarily, spontaneously. You cannot control your heartbeat from your own mindset or from your own thinking, right? Then the last tissue is the nervous tissues. These are composed of the nerve cells, which are called as neurons. They are capable of transmitting nerve impulses to conduct messages in the whole body. So the whole transmission, like for example, you are touching your body. See, this is another signal. So the signal from of touching your body is transmitting to the brain. So these kind of signals, they are being transmitted with the help of the neurons to the whole body parts. They are these neurons, or the nerve cells. Nerve cells, they are present all over the body, but the neurons, they are found in the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. Thank you very much for today's lecture. I'm going to show you now the picture of these animal tissues. Over here you can see these are the adipose tissues. These are the long and the fatty droplets kind of cells, right? Over here you can see this is the bone tissue, this is the nerve tissue, this is the adipose tissue, cartilage tissue, connecting tissue, these are the muscle tissue, these are the epithelial tissues, and over here you can see the blood. I just skip one part of adipose tissues in the type of the connecting tissue, so I'm just now I'm giving you the lecture on adipose tissues. What is adipose tissue? Adipose tissues, these are the swollen cells due to the large fat droplets. Their function is the energy, insulation against heat loss, and protection to support organs. They are found around the kidneys, under skin, and in the abdomen, and in other parts as well. What is cartilage? This is the extracellular material, contains bundles of collagen, right? Fibers and rubbery substances. Their occurrence is that it is occur around the end of bones, in external ear, in nose, trachea, and larynx, etc. Function is to provide support, maintain shape while allowing flexibility. What is bone? This is the extracellular material, contains collagen fibers and calcium salts. So bone is made up of collagen fibers and calcium salts. Their function is to support, protects, provides liver system for movements, stores calcium, and forms blood cells. So there is another type of connecting tissue which is known as the blood. So the extracellular material is fluid, which is also known as the plasma. It is responsible for immunity. It helps in the transport of substances from one part of the body to the other. So over here I am just telling you that the adipose tissues, or the cartilage and the bone and the blood, these are all the part of these are the types of the connecting tissues. Okay, I just skipped that due to the page missing, right? So any confusion, you can ask me any question related to it. Thank you very much.